We all know that as we age, our immune system may not be as effective as it was in the past. Much is the same for astronauts. So, a study called T cell activation in aging looked at the suppression of the immune system to find new ways of boosting our body's defenses. Lori Meggs is at the Payload Operations Integration Center at NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center with more on one of the top discoveries on the space station. Lori?
Well, dating back to the Apollo mission days, it's long been known that crew members have less immunity to infections during and after spaceflight. Dr. Millie Hughes-Fulford has been studying T cells ever since she flew on STS-40 as a shuttle payload specialist. Today we learn more about T cells and what Fulford's space station experiments have revealed.
Your immune system is your sentry for keeping you well. The T cell is like the general of all of the immune cells. So you get an infection, the T cell is delivered the antigen saying, oh, I have an infection. A couple of actions happen. The T cell then is activated, and it tells the B cell to make antibodies. It tells the macrophage to go eat up the bacteria. And it is like the general coordinating the immune system. If your T cell's not working well, you can die of pneumonia very easily. In the elderly over 65, the top 5 causes of death in the elderly, 1 is pneumonia and 2 is influenza. And it's because the immune system falters in older people. I study the immune system in astronauts and what happens to the T cell in space flight and why it's not activating. Some of the astronauts have had an immunosuppression, much like older people. I think the most famous one is on Apollo 13, where we had one astronaut get very ill with a Pseudomonas that normally wouldn't make you ill on Earth.
So where are we now? We've studied this now on the space station, and you have results.
I have results. What we're finding is that there are certain molecules that are not being made properly, and we're looking at how to regulate those molecules to turn them back on. The other side collateral benefit is the fact that people that have rheumatoid arthritis, people that have multiple sclerosis, also have an autoimmune disease, which means that their immune system's overacting. So the molecule that we're looking for to boost the immune system in older people, we can do a anti-mimic or an inhibitor to help people with the rheumatoid arthritis to not have all the pain and to decrease the inflammation.
So now that you have these results, how is that turned into things we can use?
Okay, now that we have the results, the next step is to devise the mimics and the inhibitors, test them first in a test tube, then go to the next step and looking in normal people, and then the next step after that is to try it on people with a disease.
Do you think you would have found this information had it not been for the space station and being able to test it there?
I don't think so, because what happens is in microgravity we're seeing things that are not being turned on. And so it's helping us to pinpoint therapeutic molecules that can be turned into drugs.
Will there be more space studies, or do you think you have enough now?
I might do 1 or 2 more. I think the final one will be where I have the T cells in flight and they are immunosuppressed, and I add back my compound and they come back to normal. Then I'll be finished.
Well, that'll be a long, lustrous career there.
Then I can retire.
We don't want to let her retire just yet. We love Millie. Now, taking a look live at the Payload Operations Integration Center, we have Edwin Smith. He is at the helm there as the Payload Operations Director. He's actually doing some on-the-job training to get his certification as our newest Payload Operations Director. And the folks there, Ola Miska is the Operations Controller. And they're all working on all of those experiments and getting ready for the new crew that you've been talking about this morning, Crawford. That'll do it for us here at the Payload Operations Integration Center. Now back to you at Mission Control in Houston.